Well, no question about it. Fall's here and cold weather's just around the corner. Now, I always imagined that meant a lawn was preparing for a long winter's nap. I've mowed for the last time, and I assumed there was nothing more for me to do. But on a whim, I decided to check it out with some experts. And boy, did I get a surprise. Ashton Ritchie is a lawn and garden expert with Scott's. Now, he says my lawn needs me right now. My grass may look like it's snoozing, but when you get to the root of things, a lot's going on beneath the surface. Sounds like some turf talk coming my way. Now tell me something, why did we get two different kinds of fertilizer here?
Well, Ron, they're both winterizer, which November is the perfect time to winterize your lawn. A lot of people forget about their lawn this time of year. This is the time to winterize a lawn. But one has a weed control and one doesn't have a weed control. I noticed that in some parts of your lawn you've got some clover and some other kinds of weeds. So on some part of your
weeds?
Lawn, in a few places. This is the perfect time of the year to take care of that. Use the winterizer with the +2 weed control, takes care of the weeds. And then we've got the regular winterizer for the other parts of the lawn where you don't have any weeds.
Would it hurt to put the weed killer on the parts of the lawn where there are no weeds?
No, it's just no need to do it. If there's no weeds there, then we just might as well use the regular winterizer.
Okay.
But I tell you what, Ron, I've got some good news for you and some bad news. Come over here, let me show you.
Give me the good news first, please.
Okay. Well, the good news, Ron, is you've got a lawn, okay? In most areas, you've got grass, and this is a perfect time to feed it. You feed it now with a winterizer, and you will really help the grass, not only now in the fall, but also next spring.
You know, my impression was that grass sort of went dormant in the winter, so why would you want to feed it just before winter approaches?
You know, I think a lot of people feel that, but the important thing now is what's happening where you can't see it, and that's the root growth. If you feed it now when Mother Nature is churning out all those new roots, then the grass is going to have even more root growth, and it's going to stockpile nutrients and it'll be a lot stronger for next year.
So this is the time of year when grass kind of turns its attention to its roots?
Well, it's like a food reserve. So you go into the winter, and I've noticed that you have a little extra food reserve right there. Didn't notice that, but
sure know how to get to that. First it's my weeds.
That's me too.
Now it's my belly.
We have food. We need to eat 3 meals a day, and the lawn needs to eat the same way. I mean, you feed it now, and it stores up nutrients, and then it's a lot stronger next year. A lot
so
healthier.
It's actually storing nutrients for next spring in the root system?
That's correct.
So my timing is
The timing
really good.
is perfect. That's the good news.
What's the bad news?
Well, Ron, the bad news is we should, well, I shouldn't say we, you should get all these leaves off the lawn before we fertilize.
I don't know what came over me. There was this mountain of leaves so neatly mounded up, calling, beckoning, like a schoolyard troublemaker, taunting me to mess their hair. I tried to resist, but suddenly...
Ron, looks like you were daydreaming there for a second.
It's flashing back to my childhood.
You've got a good stand of grass here, but you've got some weeds in it. And we're going to put the winterizer +2 down on moist foliage so that the particles will stick on the weeds, get absorbed down into the root, kill it, root system and all. And you want to pick a day when you're going to get a couple of 3 days of 50 to 60 degree weather. If you're not getting that anymore, if you're part of the country where it's really, really cold, then it's probably too late to put it down.
Well, I figure there'll be a few more 50-degree days before Old Man Winter settles in, so I load up the rotary spreader. On the fertilizer bag, I find the spreader rate and dial in the correct setting. Then I swing the edge guard into position and fertilize the perimeter of the yard first. The edge guard prevents fertilizer from getting onto pavement and into flower beds. Once the edges are finished, I make parallel passes across the lawn, moving over about 5 feet after each one. So that's all there is to it. That was not very difficult.
No, and your lawn's going to look great. In fact, you'll be so pleased with how it looks going into the winter and how it'll look next spring.
So when will I see you again?
How about if I come back in spring and let's see how much progress it made, and then we'll take it from there and we'll figure out what we need to do next year.
You're on.